How you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf. I gotta make sure I don't get my beard in the microphone. That could be unpleasant for you. Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Chav Zayin, Daf 27 of Masechta BavaKama. Friends. Well, today we're finishing up the second parak of Masechta BavaKama, starting the third parak of Masechta BavaKama. Parak Hamaniach Esakad. Exciting times. Whatever. Let's go weiter. Is that good? Alright. So we're going to start on Daf Chavav Mud Beis. We got a tiny bit of work to do, but it's not hard. It's just, I figured we would start here because it's just like a decent place to start. It's like 8 or 10 lines from the bottom. The second word on the line is Ve'omar Rabba. And Rabba says, Zara klim merosh agag. Okay. Uva acher v'shibro b'makol potter. My time monotvir tovar. So if you have Reuven, and Reuven has a vessel. And he goes up to his roof and he chucks the vessel off the roof. Shimon is standing on the floor outside with a baseball bat. And he says, ooh. We've seen this before, by the way. He says, ooh. Let me practice my batting cages. So before the vessel hits the ground, Shimon smashes it to smithereens with his bat. So Shimon is potter, because what he broke was, for all intents and purposes, an already broken vessel. It was like about to smash against the floor and shatter into smithereens. So he just did that first with his bat, but it was already a goner. So Shimon's potter. So again, Rabba says, Rabba Zarek Kli Merosh Agag. If Reuven throws his vessel off the roof and is about to shatter on the ground into smithereens, Uva Acher V'Shibro, and then Shimon comes and with his baseball bat does batting practice on the vessel before it hits the ground, B'Makol with a baseball bat, Potter, Shimon's Potter, my time outcome, Monatvir Tovar, because Be'etzim, he broke an already broken vessel. It was about to smash into smithereens. So therefore he's a potter. 1 second. Sorry for this, but what? Really? This belt is too tight because I have. Really, it's on the. Oh, really? Oh, I don't know. I need to loosen it up because I got the mic. I don't know why I decided to do that today, but sorry for whoever's watching the video. All right. Oh, and I said that I need to not hit my beard against the mic. I probably just totally hit my beard against the mic. Oh man, I hope this doesn't happen a lot today. But the shirt, okay, whatever. Hopefully it won't happen too much. Weiter. From a Rabba, and says Rabba, Zorak Kli Merosh Hagag, V'hayu Tachtav Karim Uksaso. So now, in this case, Reuven is not the owner of the vessel. Reuven is a shmendrik. So Reuven the shmendrik finds a vessel that belongs to somebody else and he chucks it off the roof. But the thing is, on the floor there were cushions, there were pillows, and therefore be'etzim the vessel wasn't going to break because it was going to land on the pillows. So ba'acher v'silkon, but then Shimon comes and he removes the pillows. O kadam v'silkon, or even Reuven the shmendrik himself runs down the stairs quickly and removes the pillows before it lands. And sure enough, it smashes against the floor into smithereens. Potter. In that case, nobody's chayv. Everyone's potter. Reuven is potter because when he threw the vessel off the roof, it was going to land on pillows, so it was not going to break. And Shimon, or even if Reuven runs down the stairs, right, who removes the pillows, is also potter because it's grama, right? Let's just say Shimon, right, removes the pillows. He's not breaking the vessel. He's just moving pillows, which then ultimately leads to the vessel breaking, but that's a grama. It causes it to happen. It doesn't actually do the damage. So therefore, Shimon is potter. My time outcome, but idna deshaje pasuke mafseke gere. That when Reuven chucked the vessel off the roof, it wasn't going to smash against the floor into smithereens. So therefore, Reuven is potter for chucking it off the roof, and Shimon is potter for he didn't break anything. He just removed some pillows, which caused it to break. But that's what's called a grama, and grama is potter by nizakin. by damages. Okay. V'omer Rabba, it says Rabba, Zorak tinok mirosh hagag. If Reuven throws a baby off of the roof, uva'aycher v'kiblo b'sayif, and before the baby smashes against the ground and inevitably dies, Shimon sticks out a sword and kills the baby with a sword. Not a very exciting topic. Plukta de Yehuda ben Beseir v'Rabbanon. So it's a taka machlokas Rabbi ben Beseir and the Rabbanon what the halacha is. The Tanya, and this is also, we've seen this brisa before as well. Where have we seen this? In Daf Yud we saw it. Okay, more than 2 weeks ago already. The Tanya is within the brisa. Iku asara b'nei adam ba'asara maklis. If 10 people were whacking a fellow with 10 sticks, whether they were all 10 were attacking with sticks at the same time, or whether they were taking turns attacking the fellow with a stick. Kulan pturin, all of them are pturin, because it says Rashi, the top Rashi on Chav Zayin Amud Aleph, kol nefesh adam. In order to be chayiv for killing, you have to be responsible for killing the entire soul of the person. But over here, it's soul. You're only responsible for killing 1/10 of the soul. So therefore, you are potter, and that's regardless, according to the BavaKama, if everyone was hitting him at the same time or one at a time, it makes no difference. Rabbi ben Beseir Omer baza achar ze ha'achrin chayiv. Says Rabbi ben Beseir that no, if they take turns, so then the last person to hit the fellow who fells the final blow, so he's going to be chayiv p'nishakerev misaso, because he kind of did the final. He brought the death closer. So bashor. Okay, so therefore we see that just like Reb Yehuda ben Beseir would say that the last person is chayiv because he's the one who actually did the killing. So even though the person, I guess, was going to die it was a group effort, but the last person kind of did the killing. So we would say the same thing here. If Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseir would say the same thing here, that if Reuven threw a baby off the roof, and Shimon, though, before it hit the ground, killed the baby with a sword, so Shimon would be chayiv according to Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseir. It sounds like according to the Chacham, if I understand correctly, neither of them would be chayiv because neither one is doing all of the killing. Okay. Bashor v'kiblo b'kainav. What if Reuven threw the baby off the roof, and then before the baby landed and smashed against the ground and died, Shimon's shormuad comes running out of nowhere and Pashit gores the baby to death before it lands and smashes against the ground. Not a very fun sugya. But as I get this, right, the kulaba, the Gemara does not leave a stone unturned. So we discussed this as well. So the shaila is there kofar, right? If a shormuad kills a person, so there's kofar. There's I've been promising you that we're going to see it's machlokas about what exactly kofar is. Kofar is a payment for somebody who dies, right? If a shormuad kills a person, there's a payment for that person who died. The question is, it's the value of whom? Is it the value of the person who died that is being paid as kofar to the heirs, or is it the person whose animal killed the fellow, basically is like redeeming himself by paying his own value? So that's the shaila. So now in this case, we are saying that Reuven had chucked the baby off the roof and it was going to smash against the ground and die. Shimon's shore, though, ran and gored the baby before it hit the ground. So the shaila is Shimon chayiv for kofar or not? So plukta to Rabbi Shmuel ben Rabbi Yochanan ben Broka v'Rabbanan, it's the machlokes between Rabbi Shmuel ben Rabbi Yochanan ben Broka and the Rabbanan. The Tanya is within the brayso v'nosim pidyon nafsho, that when it says that you have to pay kofar, Shimon, his shormuad, killed the fellow, so Shimon has to pay kofar. So dmei nizak, so according to the BavaKama, it's the value of the nizak. Rabbi Shmuel ben Rabbi Yochanan ben Broka omer dmei mazik. Says Rabbi Shmuel ben Rabbi Yochanan ben Broka, it's the value of the damager, of Shimon, not the person who was killed. So now, in this case, where Reuven threw a baby off the roof and the baby was about to smash against the ground and inevitably die, so if it's dmei nizak, if it would be the value of the baby who died, well, the baby, at the time that Shimon's ox gored the baby was about to die, like it was basically already considered dead, you could say. So therefore, there would not be a kofar payment. But if it's b'demei mazik, if it's Shimon's value, well, Shimon should still pay his value. His shore killed a person, and so Shimon needs to redeem himself by paying kofar. So depending on if kofar is demei mazik or demei nizak, that will determine if there would be kofar in this case. V'amar Rabba says, Rabba nofel mirosh hagag. Oh, v'amar Rabba nofel mirosh hagag v'niska b'isha chay b'dal dvarim uv'yivimto lo kana. There's a gemara that we saw in Masech Yevamis. V'amar Rabba says, Rabba nofel mirosh hagag. If a fellow falls off of a roof, and on the ground is a woman, and Pashit, it works out in such a way that that bia, he falls on her in a bia kind of way. Chayiv b'dal dvar, so he's chayiv for 4 things, not 5 things, right? We're going to see in a second. He's chayiv for nezek, tsa'ar, ripoy, and shevis, but not for boshes. Okay, v'yivimto lo kana. Now, if this girl below him was his yivama, right? Without getting too much into yivamis, this was Shimon who fell off the roof, and the person over on the bottom was his brother Ruvain's widow, and they had to do yibum. So lo kana, it wouldn't be yibum, because for there to be yibum, he has to have intention to have bia. Here he just fell off the roof. So chayev. Where am I? Fine. So when we said that he would be chayiv for 4 out of the 5 possible payments, so chayiv benezek, chayiv to pay for damages if he permanently devalued her. B'tza'ar for pain. B'ripoy, hospital bills. B'sheves for the fact that she can't work now. Haval boshes lo, but not boshes. The Tanan, as we learn in a Mishnah, eino chayiv ala boshes achei miskabin. He's only chayiv for boshes if he intended to damage, but here he just fell off of a roof, so he would not be chayiv for boshes. V'amar Rabba, says Rabba, nofel mirosh hagag beruach she'ena mitzuya. If a fellow fell off of a roof beruach she'ena mitzuya, right? Meaning a fellow was on the roof for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe he was fixing the roof, whatever it was. Comes a humongous wind, an unexpected wind, beruach she'ena mitzuya, an abnormally strong wind, and blows the fellow off of the roof. V'hizik, and he falls on somebody, and damages the person. Uviesh, but also embarrassed the person. So there's boshes. So chayiv al nezek ufater b'dal dvarim. So we say it's chayiv for nezek, right? Because we learned yesterday that by nezek a person, right, is an adam muad la'olam, and he's chayiv, right? Shogeg mezid ones rotzon is always going to be chayiv. So it's chayiv for the nezek. He fell off the roof, an abnormally strong wind. It's chayiv for the nezek if he falls on somebody. Ufater b'dal dvarim, but he's going to be pater for the other 4 payments, because we said that those are only by mezid. And here he fell off beruach she'ena mitzuya. Now beruach mitzuya, if it was just a common wind, which means that he was being an idiot, he was on the roof being an idiot, just a regular wind blew and he goes flying because he was being stupid. So now v'hizik uviesh chayiv b'dal dvarim upater ala boshes. And he falls on somebody, damages the person, so he's going to be chayiv for 4 things, but again, not for boshes. Not for boshes, right? He's going to be chayiv for nezek, because everybody, right, he's always going to be chayiv for nezek, and he's chayiv for these other things because they were, right, because he was like basically being an idiot, right? It was like close, he didn't exactly do it on purpose, but it was close to being done on purpose, right? If he was being so stupid that he fell off the roof, even just like by a regular wind, so then so he's going to be chayiv, but he's for the 4 out of the 5, but not for boshes, because as we said, in order to be chayiv for boshes, you have to have intention to damage. Now, if as he's falling, so he falls up beruach mitzuya, and then as he's falling, he then kind of flips over and like falls on the person. So there you like kind of essentially then at the end intended to cause damage. So then he's going to be chayiv even for boshes. Titania, as well in the Brayso, mimash m'shneimar v'sholcha es yodo, v'sholcha yodo, ein yodea she'echziko, matam lo mevechziko, lo malecho, kevin sheniskaven la'azik av bishul niskaven levaish. Who could tell me what this pasuk is talking about? This pasuk is talking about a matzav. It's talking about a situation where Reuven and Shimon are fighting. Mamish fighting. Mamish fighting. Mamish fighting. Fists, makis, shver matzav. Be'etzim. Reuven and Shimon. Now, the problem for Shimon is that Reuven's wife is there, and Reuven's wife is very upset that Shimon is fighting with her husband Reuven. So she goes up to Shimon, and as one of my good friends, Foley Tesler, once explained so elegantly, she grabbed Shimon's junk, and I guess that settled it. So okay. So the Tanya once it already says that she sent her hand, and Yodea Sheikh Zika, don't already know that she grabbed. Why does it have to say that she grabbed? To say to you, that since she intended to damage, even though her intention wasn't to embarrass, but her intention was to damage, so then there will be a chiyuv for boshes. Okay. From Rabba says Rabba, Hiniach loy gacheles al libo vameis potter al bigdo v'nisav chayiv. Says Rabba that if Reuven puts a coal on Shimon's heart and then Shimon dies, Reuven's potter, because Shimon should have gotten up and removed the coal and gone somewhere else. So Reuven is potter. Al bigdo, but if you put it on Shimon's garment, so then v'nisraf and the garment got burnt, chayiv, Reuven's going to be chayiv for that, because Shimon might just be saying like, okay, Reuven burnt my clothing, I'm just gonna, go and claim it from him and get my money back. Fine. Amar Rava, says Rava, Tavayu Tanonhi, and we learned both of these things in, I guess, Mishnahs? Yeah, Mishnahs. Both the thing about the coal on the heart and the coal on the clothing. Alibo on his heart, the Tananis, we learned in Mishnah. Kavash olav l'socha or l'socha mayim. If a person drowns a person or burns somebody to death, meaning if a person forces somebody into fire and doesn't let him out, or forces him underwater and doesn't let him up, so then ve'enu yachol alos misham, and the victim is unable to escape, v'meis and he dies chayiv. So the idiot who did this is going to be chayiv. Dachafo l'soch ha'or or l'soch hamayim v'yachol alos misham. But if he forced him into the fire or into the mine or into the water, but the victim was able to run away, vameis, and he died potter, so then the person who did this, the perpetrator, is going to be potter, because ultimately the victim could have ran away and he didn't. Big dough is garment, ditnan, as we learned in the Mishnah, kra is ksusi, shaber is kadi. If Shimon says to Reuven, tear my garment, break my jug, chayav, Reuven will be chayiv if he does so, if he breaks it. Manash liftor potter, but if he says do it and you'll be potter, well then he's potter. That was the condition. Okay, so we see that he would be chayiv for breaking, for ruining the garment. Boy, Rabba asks, Iniach gacheles alev avdo mau. What if a fellow puts a coal on the heart of his eved? Kigufadami, do we say that his eved is like his body? We said just like a person can run away, so his eved should have run away. Or kamamonodami, or is he like his property and he would be chayiv for that? And timtzulomar kigufo, and if you say that the eved is like your guf and he should have run away, kigufadami. Shoroma, what if he puts the coal on his ox? Do we say that the ox has das to run away or not? Hadar pashto, and Rabba answers, Avdo kigufo shoro kimamono, that his eved is considered like his body, and if he puts the coal on his eved, so his eved should run away. But that's not the case with the ox. The ox, we don't assume that he would necessarily run away, and you would be chayiv for that. Oh, okay, we'll come back to Perek Ketzad HaRegel. We have concluded the second Perek of Masechta BavaKama. Alright, and now we begin the third Perek of Masechta BavaKama. Hamaniches akad b'rshus harabim v'acher v'niskul ba v'shibra potter v'im huzak ba b'alachav chayav bin Izkoi. Who wants to volunteer to explain this Mishnah for all of the people at Babylon Talmud? So, so Ruvain leaves a jug in the public domain. Shimon trips on the jug. V'shibra, and the jug breaks. Potter. Shimon is potter. And if Shimon got hurt, Ruvain is going to be chayiv to pay for Shimon's damage. If Shimon got hurt, Ruvain needs to pay for his nezek. Now, if you notice, the Mishnah started with Amaneches Akad, but then it says at the end, Balachovis chayiv. So we're talking about a Akad, and then like a jug, and then a chovis is a barrel. So, Frekti Gemara, Pasach bechad v'sim bechovis. I don't understand. First, the Mishnah is talking about a kad. All of a sudden, then it's talking about a chovis. We're talking about a kad. We're talking about a chovis. No, B'tnan nami. And I'll tell you more so. We oichet have another Mishnah. Where's this Mishnah? Later on. Zeba b'chaviso v'zeba b'koraso. If Ruvain is walking down the street with a barrel, and Shimon's walking down with a beam, Nishba kado shalzeh b'koraso shalzeh, and Ruvain's jug gets broken by Shimon's beam. So again, we started by zeba b'chaviso, and then we say Nishba kado shalzeh. So patach, so pater. We say Shimon's pater, but pasach b'chavis v'siyim b'chad. We started talking about a chavis, then we're talking about a kad. V'tnanami, we have nocha Mishnah, another Mishnah. Zeba b'chaviso shel yayin. Ruvain's coming with a barrel of wine. Zeba b'kado shel dvash, and Shimon's coming with his jug of honey. V'nizdga chavish shel dvash, and Shimon's jug of honey gets a crack in it, and says Rashi. I think Rashi says. Does Rashi say? Does it? I don't know. Whatever it is, the assumption is that, there you go. Rashi says, "Vitzel is the dvash to sochum pnei shadvash dama v'karim." I guess the assumption is that the honey is more expensive than the wine. So again, zeba b'chaviso shel yain. So Reuven's coming with a barrel of wine. V'zeba b'chado shel dvash. Shimon's coming with a jug of honey. Nizdaga chavish shel dvash, and the and then the barrel of honey got cracked. V'shafach zeh yeno, and Reuven's a tzaddik, he spilled out his wine. V'yitzel sa dvash shesocho, and saved Shimon's dvash into his barrel that he emptied out of its wine. Ein lo elischaro. So Shimon doesn't need to pay Reuven for his wine, right? Reuven emptied out his wine. Shimon does not need to pay Reuven for the wine that he, I guess, voluntarily emptied out. But Shimon does have to pay Reuven for, the time spent helping him out. Right? Shimon has to pay Reuven for the time spent helping him out. So again, pasach b'chad v'sim b'chavis. First we mentioned that Shimon's coming with his jug of honey, but then we say that he's coming with a barrel of honey. So is it a jug? Is it a barrel? Amar Papa, says her Papa, hainu kad, hainu chavis. Says her Papa, look, be'etzem, a jug and a barrel are the zelbazach, are the same thing. They're interchangeable. The ma'in nafkamina. Now, in what ways is significant? For business, right? If a shopkeeper says, yeah, sure, I'll sell you a chavis of something, and in your mind you're thinking, oh wow, he's selling me a big chavis, a big barrel, and then he gives him a jug. Totally okay. Look, they're interchangeable. All right, he said he's going to give him a chavis, gave him a kad. Chavis and kad are the same thing. So now, hechidami, wait, in what context are we saying that they're the same thing? Look, if we're talking about a place where a jug is a jug and a barrel is a barrel, nobody's going to call a jug a barrel and vice versa. So halu karula. So I don't understand. How could we say that they're interchangeable? They're not. In this place, they have specific names for things. So yeah, they wouldn't be interchangeable there. Lotzricha deruba karula kada v'lechavisa chavisa ve'ikanamu de karula chavisa kada l'chada chavisa. It's a place where, look, most people call a jug and a barrel a barrel. Some people, though, will refer to a jug as a barrel, or vice versa. So in this place, so I might think, well, yeah, let's go based on the majority. So in this place, if a shopkeeper says, I'm going to sell you a barrel of something, since most people call it a barrel, so the customer has the right to assume that he'll get a barrel, not a jug. Nope. Kamash Milan de Einochim b'mamin achar rov. That by money we don't, right? By business we don't go after the majority. And even though, yeah, sure, the majority of the people in this place call a barrel and a jug, since some people interchange them, so if the shopkeeper says, I'll sell you a barrel of something, and the guy comes to pick it up and it's a jug, technically speaking is within his right. The shopkeeper was allowed to do that. He didn't do anything wrong, because as long as some people switch, use those two words interchangeably, me'ikar adin, the halacha is that the shopkeeper would be able to use them interchangeably and say that he's selling a barrel and produce a jug, since a barrel and a jug, technically speaking, can be considered interchangeable in that place. The Mishnah had said, Reuven leaves out his jug in the Rishus Harabim. Shimon trips over it and breaks it. Potter, Shimon is potter for breaking Reuven's jug in Rishus Harabim. 1 second. There's some noise coming from somewhere. Why would they make noise if I'm recording Babylon Talmud? I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know why somebody would do that. So not nice. My Potter. Why is Shimon Potter? Shimon, watch where you're going. Reuven put out his jug in the Rishus Harabim. Shimon trips over it and breaks it. Why is Shimon off the hook? Well, Shimon, watch where you're going, Buster. Amrei Devei Rav Mishmei de Rav. They say in the Besmedrish of Rav, the name of Rav b'memale Rishus Harabim kula chavis, because Reuven was being a shtunk. Reuven filled up all of Rishus Harabim with jugs, so that inevitably Shimon was going to trip over it. So of course Shimon is potter. Shmuel Amar ba'afei lashanu. Shmuel says it was dark out. Shimon Pashut couldn't see Reuven's jug. Rabbi Yochanan Amar b'karen zavis. Rabbi Yochanan says it was in the corner. Right, Reuven put his jug right around the corner, so that when Shimon turns the corner, boom, boom, pow, kapow, cha-ching, the jug gets broken by Shimon when he turns the corner. So again, in this case also, he didn't see that there was a jug there. He turns the corner and kapow. So that is so 3 reasons why Shimon would be sort of potter when he trips over it. But the assumption seems to be that by default, however, we would say Shimon, watch where you're going, Buster. So Amr of Papa says, Papa lodeka masnizin ella o kishmila kurab yochanan. It says, Papa, look, out of those 3 options, the Mishnah only makes sense according to be explained according to Shmuel and Rabbi Yochanan, not like Rav the Ikrab, because if it's like Rav, where Reuven filled up the whole Rishus Harabim with his jugs, Ma'irya Niskal, then why is Shimon only potter if he trips? I feel Shiber Nami, even if he intentionally broke the jug, he would be potter, because Reuven filled up all of Rishus Harabim, there's nowhere else for him to go. So of course, even if he intentionally broke it, he would be potter. So from the fact that we say if he tripped on it, he's potter, so then it must not be like Rav. Omar Rav Zvid Mishmei Derave says Rav Zvid Mishmei Derave Hu Adin Tafilu Shiber. So says Rav Zvid, no, it could be like Rav. And yes, you're right. Even if Shimon deliberately breaks Reuven's jugs, he would be potter, since Reuven's filling up Rishus Harabim with them. Ve'hai dikatoni niskol. And the reason why it says specifically if Shimon trips is either the boy the Mishnah is seifa, because since the continuation of the Mishnah says ve'im huzak ba Bal Chavis Chayiv Benisko, that if Shimon got hurt, so then Reuven would have to pay for his damages. Didav Kanisko, that there, of course, it's specifically if Shimon tripped over the jugs. Aval Shiber Lo, but if Shimon, kicked the jug and then it splattered in his face, so then Reuven would be potter. My time I'll come Hudazik Anafshe, because Shimon did it to himself. Right? Why was he intentionally? If he intentionally broke the vessel and then he got hurt doing that, Reuven's going to be potter. So because in the Seifa, it's specifically where if he tripped, Reuven would be chayiv to pay for the damages. So in the Reisha also we say that if Shimon tripped, Reuven is potter for the damages. If he didn't get hurt. Wait, what? No, I'm sorry. If Shimon, what? Therefore we say in the Reisha, if Shimon trips on the jugs, Shimon is potter from paying for the broken jug, because Reuven was filling up all of Rishus Harabim with the jugs. And we say in the Reisha that if Shimon tripped, even though technically also if he intentionally broke it, he would be potter, but we say tripped because in the Sefer where if Shimon gets hurt, Reuven would only have to pay him if it was an accident, not if it was on purpose. Fine. Katana Reisha Niskol, so that's why the Reisha also says if he tripped, even though it could have technically said if he broke it. Omerle, Reb Abba, the Rav Ashi, says Reb Abba to Rav Ashi, Hachi Ami b'Ma'arove Mishmei to Reb Ula, that in Eretz Yisrael, so it says Reb Abba to Rav Ashi that in Eretz Yisrael, they say in the name of Ula, the Fisha in Darkon, Shabni Adam Lisbonim Bedrachim. So, apparently, we were assuming up until now, hey, Shimon, watch where you're going, Buster. But apparently in Eretz Yisrael, they say in the name of Reb Ula that no, we don't assume that a person is watching where he's going, right? If people were always watching where they're going when Rosh Hashanah, nobody would ever step in a dog. Around here, around here you have to watch where you're going. So if everybody was always watching where they were going, then nobody would step in things that they wish they didn't step in. So maybe that's why Dafka in Eretz Yisrael. Interesting. Right, in Eretz Yisrael they say people aren't looking because over here they know. Over here people don't clean up after the dogs. In Chutz La'aretz, in the suburbs, who would ever not clean up after a dog? So they didn't know. But Akoponim. So there's another opinion that if Shimon trips over Reuven's jug, even if it was just like under normal circumstances, Shimon would be potter because people don't necessarily always look where they're going, and why was Reuven's jug there? Havuvda ben Arda, there was a situation in Arda where a person tripped over a jug in Rosh Hashanah v'chiev Shmuel, and Shmuel said that he was chayiv, like Shmuel says, right? Because Shmuel said that he will only be potter if it's in the dark, but not just in a regular situation. This happened in Pumbedisa, and Rava said that the guy was chayiv. Okay, so I understand Shmuel says like his reasoning that you'd only be potter if it was in the dark. Ela Rava, but according to Rava, Lema Shmuel, Svirle. So should we say that Rava holds like Shmuel, that he's only potter if it's in the dark, but under normal circumstances he would be chayiv? We say watch where you're going, Buster. Rav Papa says no. So says Rav Papa, not necessarily. Rava could say, like they say in Eretz Yisrael, potentially that people don't necessarily watch where they're going. But the only reason why he's chayiv in this case is because kind of the atzra have it, that it was like right around the corner from an olive press. He was walking right around the corner from an olive press, and in the olive press people come with their vessels to fill up their olive oil, and people leave them on the ground over there. And therefore he knew that when he was getting to a place where he should watch out and be careful and watch his step, because there's liable or likely to be breakable vessels there, so he should have been careful. That is why he's chayiv. But maybe under normal circumstances he would be able to, if he broke something, he would be potter. That was Daf Chav Zayin of Masechta BavaKama. We wrapped up the second parak, different scenarios about where he'd be chayiv and stuff. Then we got to the third parak, a parak HaManiach, which is interesting. If you leave stuff out in Rosh Hashanah, what are you chayiv for? Peace out.